Hey guys, just waiting for somebody else. Hi Amy. About to have some girl talk. About to talk about why men think it's cool for them to be able to post about their sexuality and why it's offensive for women too. I don't look like nobody's crack baby. I got meat on my bones. I eat. You know who my mama is? Your sister. Hi EJ. I'm still waiting on somebody. I probably do need to comb my hair though. I don't feel like it. So if you could send a hairstylist, Amy, I'd appreciate it. Drake's ugly, so it doesn't matter. He ugly and his mama dressed him funny. So yeah, my jaw looking at you. I'm just playing, Andre. Don't join my live and start talking shit. I don't want to have a roasting session right now. I'm busy. I'm waiting for somebody to add themselves into this broadcast. So as soon as she comes here, what up, Derek? Cause Dre is a hater. All his life, he was a hater. His whole entire life. Hey, lover. How you feeling, Erica? Are you hungry? Do you need to eat? Cause I'll feed you. For my baby. For my baby. Okay, I'm gonna have to put this on pause for a second because somebody's supposed to be joining me and she's not here yet, and we're gonna have a talk about some real life female stuff. Cause yes, somebody got my back like chiropractic. Thank you, Amy. I love you. Do you see it, girl? It's Erica, your little cousin, Erica Monroe. Oops, I think I pushed the wrong button. Oh, you just had pizza? Okay, good. Good. We all love her. All the people know. So she's about to have another baby. Hey, turn up. We're hoping it's a boy. I really want it to be a girl because I want to have the power of three, but if it's a boy, I'm going to love it just the same. Okay, so my phone is acting weird. I don't know what the hell is going on. Hold on, guys. We are going to talk about vaginal sex and how some people are like, team boy all the way. And how some people are like loosey gooseys and super open, and then there are some women who are like really tight and they're like, it's too big, it's too wide, it's too strong, it won't fit. Yeah, I had one of those moments. Like, bro, I'm sorry, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know who you've been having sex with, but they must have been having sex with horses because I really can't. There she is. Here she is. Here she is. Yeah. Pop up. As soon as technology decides that they want to work. Oh, I hear something. There she is. Hey! Yeah, got her.
It took forever, and I got the AC running next to me, which is horrible, but it's all good. Okay.
I'm sitting next to some kind of bed thinking. So my aunt said that we should start about like vaginal sex. So I have three topics
Okay.
that I want to get on: the weird movement of pedophilia, why women can not be so sexual but men can, or she's looked at as a thought or a prostitute. Trent Dupree, whoop whoop, shout out to him too. Go check out his music. And then another thing, was just sex in general, just people's sexuality and why they feel like they have to cover it up and hide it. So I will let you pick which one to
Um,
start with.
because it's fresh on my mind, I want to start with that weird. I'm gonna do a lot of moving, so forgive me, but I like walking. I want to, yeah,
I might get
I
up
want to start
in a minute.
with the weird, with the pedophilia inclusion in the sexuality alphabet. I find it to be, the caption on the video I put on Instagram is that we're being brainwashed into this idea that inclusion is the exact same thing as tolerance for shit that ain't okay. And we're not classifying things in a manner that'll allow people to make a proper decision and feel whole and like, oh, no, I have gay friends versus I'm not okay with that part. And we feel like, oh, we're not allowed to say, have unpopular opinions, if you will. But you hear that? Is that you? Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
I can hear you fine. The unpopular opinions of sexuality. I'm about to show you guys some pictures as soon as my computer loads. But about 4 years ago, this movement started where instead of pedophilia being a crime, they are now trying to legalize it and make it to where pedophilia is a part of your sexual orientation. Like when you go on a job application and they're like, are you gay, straight, lesbian, or whatever, they want pedophilia to be right there inside of that. But touching children should not be cool. Touching children should not be a part of sexuality. Kids don't even have that choice at a
Or
certain
even like
age.
the hormone
When
for
they're a
it.
teenager, maybe like, 15 to, they don't have the bodies or anything. It's not a sexual orientation, but I'm about to show you some things. And every time I put it on Facebook or on my Instagram, this is why I'm going live now, so that I can have witnesses, because they'll probably end up deleting this one too. As you can see, my phone started slowing down a little bit as we get more into this topic. But it's not a sexual orientation, and people are thinking that it's cool. And you've got certain people that are like, oh my gosh, love is love, it's free, and if it's a child, it's a child, and I'm a 50-year-old man trapped in a 6-year-old girl's body.
It's like, no.
Hmm.
Hmm.
You gotta watch your
And
kid.
I also wrote that it's discounting the movement of the queer community in the first place, because back in the 40s, 50s, 60s, and 70s, when especially gay men were being through, the big scare was don't have them in the school because they're going to get your children, or they can't be the ice cream man, or they shouldn't live next door. So now it's like come full circle that the community itself is
Right.
going to kill its own progress by not wanting to feel like they're not being inclusive. It's like, don't do that. Like, that's retarded, especially like um or like the movement with like the transgender versus feminist war that's happening. We're just adding more legs to the combat situation that we really don't need. Because like sexuality is a real spectrum, but pedophilia doesn't count. That's a disease. That's not that's not sexuality. But I'm crazy though.
I don't even know if I want to classify it as a disease, because I feel like classifying it as a disease still give them an excuse. That's like saying I want to be bipolar or OCD today. Like, there is no medicine that you can give a person to be like, hey, don't touch this child. That's
This
wrong.
is true. This is absolutely true. Um, Deformity. Let's call it deformity because I always feel like this, and this just jumps to like prison reform, which is crazy. But I always felt like that for people who have, like, if you're a serial rapist, because you literally have something wrong in your brain, or like a serial domestic violence abuser, or like for your children, there should be like a small city in Montana that you just get to go live in. We're not going to murder you or anything, but like you could just go live in Montana in this one place
Put your ass on your
over
own
there,
island.
and
Yeah.
we'll just keep you there, okay? but I can't get down with pedophilia being a sexuality at all. Like it's kind of it's
Nia,
what?
I'm so glad you joined, Nia, because I was just telling everybody that, and it actually started, the reason why I'm doing this is because it started with you and I, Nia. If you would like to make some commentary to be my witness, she was the first one to actually make a post. And as we were talking about it in disagreement, it got
Hmm.
deleted. And no matter how many times I tried to share, like, this post is no longer available, this post is no longer available. But if I share it with people who agree with it, with people who are following it in the gay community, it'll stay up on my
Yeah,
page. And then I'll just be like, fuck that, I can't do it. And then it'll get
exactly.
deleted again.
Twitter actually just got caught about a week and a half ago shadow banning. Now, mind you, most of the people that they were shadow banning were on the right and more conservative, and most people are like, "Oh, that's great because screw the Republicans." But you can bet every dollar in your pocket that if the right is suffering, then the left definitely will. Those who are in a progressive state that don't want to see, um, that don't want to see regression, it's going to get used against them. So, same thing with Facebook with the algorithms. Uh, it's a problem. It's a legitimate problem, and there's an overall conversation with all of this. Like, okay, let me tell you an experience I had last night, and I had no idea what the fuck to do. So I'm at work with this girl, very pale, redhead chick, and she said nigga. Like, she said nigga in
You say
conversation.
what?
We're standing outside smoking a cigarette. I'm smoking my Black and Mild. And she was like, yeah, we're going to go come back out a little later, but let's just go see what this nigga's doing in here. And I just stood there and I was like, did she just say nigga? What? And I didn't know what to say because it was one of those like, you don't want to be that guy to like ruin the shift and be like, yo, 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 yo. No, we're not doing that. And that feeling is similar with this because we're getting very PC where you can't say what's true and just be okay with what's true
Yeah.
in all, even with like the trans community and the queer community. Like there's such thing as a bar sexual where you're just gay because you're drunk. You're not actually gay, but you still get to be considered
Right.
such. And you can't say you're not. And you know, there's just it's a whole lot. And I want to find a way to I want to find a way for us to I guess carve out what's the word I'm looking for? A stencil, maybe, to be like, this is what you can say when dealing with this. We have to do something about I don't even know what to do though, because these are movements, the pedophilia that happen in a slow creep. And then by the time you find out about it, it's already a thing.
It's too late. Yeah, it's a thing. And that's what it is. Like, they're literally passing laws, and people are trying to blame Trump. And I'm not a Trump lover or anything like that. But this shit started with Obama's presidency. I found out about this when Obama was still in office. Obama is the reason why men can go in the women's bathroom no matter how they're dressed, and women can go into the men's bathroom no matter how they're dressed. Why don't y'all just get your own fucking
My
bathroom?
thing is this. I'll say this. As a mom, anytime my kids go into a bathroom, if I'm not right outside the door and I have a timer on that, I'm going in there. What, you gonna fight me if I go in the dude's bathroom when my son's in there? I hope you do. So if you're not right there, or if you're in the women's bathroom with transgender women, why are you not in the bathroom with your daughter? Like there's a personal responsibility. Oh yeah, with Robert just said, people don't want to discipline their kids, but they also don't want to have to stand up against social norms. Because like personally, you can have whoever you want to in the bathroom. Because if, like I said, if my kids are in there, I'm in there with them. Like,
That's right. But I was raised like that too. My brother had to go into the women's bathroom when we were kids, especially when we traveled a lot, because there are sick perverts. Women are perverts too. Don't get me twisted. You know what I'm saying? Women are child molesters. For those who have never seen Antoine Fisher,
mm-hmm.
that shit is real. women are just as sick as men are. So of course you need to escort your children in the bathroom regardless. And that's why I'm scared to be a parent. But I am a big sister, and I wish somebody would try to come in my sister, try to come in one of my little cousins, try to come in one of my babies. No, it's not gonna happen. This whole move, like, how do we separate the two? Because you cannot mix your sexuality with your, it's a preference. Sexuality is a
Exactly.
preference at the end of the day. So, my nigga, you prefer kids. Something is wrong with you. That should not be something that by law. How is it that by law you can touch on kids and all of a sudden now that's okay, but I can't get my 40 acres and a mule?
There was a controversial thing happening. I think it was in Thailand. Don't quote me on that. They're actually giving pedophiles androids that look like children, and people were like really flipped out about it. And
yes, yes, I saw that. And that was I think it was China. It was somewhere in the Asian it was somewhere in the Asian island over there. I seen those little dolls and they look so real. I'm getting goosebumps. That's how much it freaks me out. But you know what? I would rather for those dolls to exist than to have somebody touching on an actual child, making them learn something about life.
And not only that, but I'm taking it so far as I feel like it should be a prescription. Like, here's the problem that we truly have in all of this is that medically, we don't have a Medicare for all system where you truly have the freedom to tell your doctor, listen, I have a serious crack problem, and every weekend I'm out doing crack, and I really want to stop doing it. And the doctor goes, well, here, check it out. This is what we can do for that. I have a serious, like, I'm a sex addict, and this is how I know, like, I need to do something about it. Well, this is what we can do for that. Okay, well, I am a pedophile. I need to take care of that. Cool. Well, we got this thing right here in the trunk. Here, handle your business, because it shows that it helps.
Right.
But we don't have that freedom. We have to hide it and be like, oh, no, I work as a school janitor for the last 40 years for no reason.
Okay, Freddy Krueger. That's what that sounds like. There was even a time where they were giving pedophiles, known pedophiles, convicted pedophiles, children's underwear. Like, they would just take the underwear from the children and then give it to the pedophile. I didn't think that shit was cool at all.
That's weird.
Like, why are we, what you're doing, what? So we have to figure out a way of how to get rid of these people and how to stop this thing as a gay movement, because that's not gay. You just want to touch kids. That has nothing to do with you liking the same sex. That has nothing to do with you wanting to change your sex. That has nothing to do with you having sex with older people. You want to touch on children. There's a big ass fucking difference.
Super huge difference. Way super huge difference. Which then slides definitely into body dysmorphia in society, that we are allowing like children to transition. I feel like you should be able to, because studies show that if you, and this is where everyone's gonna be like, oh my fucking God, because studies show that most trans kids just grow up to be gay adults. They're not actually trans, but it's become, the extreme has become the norm now.
Yeah.
Everything has become, well, I don't want to be, okay, put it like this. Rachel Dolezal is not black. I don't give a fuck. I don't care how many braids she can do. You know what I'm saying?
Not even the tiniest, smallest bit. She's not. But she did a lot of things. She did a lot of things for the Black communities. Like, she put a lot of stuff together. Like, I'm not mad at her. For real, for real. It's just like, I mean, come on. We bleach our skin all the time. We put blonde hair in our head all the time. We try to do things to make us look white. And we claim that it's, oh, well, if I wear my hair like this, then I can't get a job. No, fuck you. You're either going to hire me or you're going to have a really big lawsuit.
Well, and I'm unpopular opinion time. I have white privilege being mixed. And people be like, oh my God, light skin. Dude, Don't even play like you don't have it. Don't I don't know how many times I've heard, "Oh, well, I expected you to speak well." Why? Oh, that's right, because I'm pale. Cool beans. So like that same thing comes with transitioning is that, it's the difference between like a drag queen. Felony, I think. And she's a transgender woman who's only been transitioned for 2 years and is fighting women in MMA. No, that's not how that works.
I didn't think that was cool either. You're still a grown ass man. You lived your whole life as a man. You know what I'm saying? You shouldn't. That's like you. I still feel like that's a man putting his hands on a woman. I didn't think that was cool either. Like, of course you're gonna be beating all these bitches' asses. You're a man,
Especially
fucking grown. No, but Annie, Rachel was this lady who was she's a white woman. She worked for the NAACP and she was passing off as black, and then her parents ousted her. Like, she's white, both of her parents are white, her mom is white, her dad is white, and her parents were really offended. She's got black kids, but she was going around with the braids in her hair. I'll have to send you a picture of her. But yeah, no, that MMA fighter,
that's crazy. Now here's the deal.
that
I'm full stop for equality for people. Not equality of outcome, but equality of opportunity. So like here's the deal. I know some females like I whooped a dude's ass. So like I know like if you train, it's not like you can't do it. However, you should be allowed to know like, hey, this is a transgender woman. Now the idea to be like, yo, this is a nigga, bro, da da da, he can't no, because it's not you change. Yeah, you
yeah,
change
yeah, you ain't
yourself for
gotta do
sure.
all
Like
of
people
that.
straight go eunuch and cut their entire genitals. I've had the same genitals since I was born, and to be like, oh, I'm gonna sew this up, yank everything out, and then build something on it. That's a decision. Like you're serious about that. You know what I mean? But you have to let people know in that community. And that's the weird fine line because to out someone to be like, yo, they're transgender, you don't do that to people, just like you don't out gay people, even if you feel it's better for society. But there needs to be something better than being like, LGBTQ plus, I'm the plus. There's already a P. It's pansexual. It's not pedophilia. And now I'm feeling all weird because I identify as pan, and now that P, I'm looking around like, wait a minute, what am I? What am I repping?
Wait, like, hold on. You got it. Now you have to describe which P you stand for, and
Mm-hmm.
that's fucked up.
Super fucked up.
That's not how you demonstrate love. And my thing is, the majority of these people doing this shit have kids. So are you looking at your kids? That's just like this other thing that I meant to send to you. This uncle was in his niece's inbox on Facebook talking about you sexy, you fine as hell. I'll give you the world. Don't tell your mama or your daddy. Like this can be our little secret. And she's like, but I look like my dad. Like you're my uncle. Are you serious? And he's like, well, I'm starting to think that you're not that into it, but you got a fat ass booty, and if you want to come over to Uncle's house, so I'm like, you're her
Right,
dad's
which means you've been kicking it
brother,
around her for a minute.
like literally. How many times did you change her diaper and look at her?
Hmm.
Like, you know what I mean? Like
It's
that's
super
shit like that's
crazy.
crazy. You don't
And this
trust
is
it.
like this weird to get all like cosmic movie cinematic on everybody. There's a split that happened in 2012. My dad was one of those big old Aztecian, Incan, Mayan watchers. It's like, yo, 2012 is going down. Everybody's gonna die. So I sat there, married at the time, under a clouded sky, like, okay, so I'm gonna die today, and I won't even see it coming out of the sky because there's clouds. Great. Nothing happened, I thought. Then all of a sudden, I started seeing this ashen look on some people's faces.
Hey,
Oh,
Nala.
welcome, Miss. That's my boo. All her and her sisters. Um, so it's like there's a split happening where okay, you remember the change filter thing where it was like a rack of quarters and then nickels and you shook it and then everything went into their like I feel like that's what's happening
Yeah,
right now.
that's
And I don't want to use the term war, but I feel like there's a legitimate a combat situation coming where we're going to have to get really hip or we're going to be Rome. Like we've come to this place.
I'm not I'm not trying to be funny or anything, but that's my honest to God reason why I think they're killing off mixed black and Spanish people, because at the end of the day, well, Spanish speaking people, the natives to Mexico and to America and stuff like that, I feel like we're getting killed off quickly because we're the warriors. We're the ones that would be able to stop all the bullshit that's going on. That's why they tried to do that Jade Helm shit in Texas when Obama was president, and they started shutting down all of the Walmarts and making FEMA camps that these children are at today. These are originally made for us, for the people who are not going to go into this new world order. What people don't understand is this is the new world order's agenda: sexuality being like this and not being able to have children. What we eat, taking your kids to McDonald's and eating all of this processed food that they have in the store, and they're putting extra chemicals in your meat and stuff to make sure that our DNA is all fucked up, and why these kids are like, oh, well, I'm going to twirl around and be a girl today. I don't want to be a boy. They're fucking with our
Absolutely.
genetics.
And well, as far as the killing of Mexicans, it's not necessarily like they're killing them in the street. It's a matter of we will take our money, go down to South America and Central America. We've been doing it since the 70s, and flood their economies and flood their we arm their random people. Like think if we took, okay, I know I'm on the East Coast, but most of the people who are going to be watching are going to be from the Midwest and the South, because there's people from Georgia and from Missouri that are friends with us on Facebook. But there are all the people that are coming up here, we sent up here. There, it's like taking Columbia and just giving a bunch of people from Park Ave a bunch of guns and telling them to handle the homeless people that are in downtown Columbia. And then those homeless people go, oh my God, like they're killing us in the street for nothing. Like we could have a job, we could have a place, but they tax and they take all the money and give it to the military, so we don't have anywhere to go. So we're just going to run to St. Louis. And then when they get to St. Louis, AKA America, we snatch them at the border, take their kids and send them wherever. I can promise you that out of the 2,700 kids that are missing, only about 1,000 of them are still going to be alive and thriving, because there's going to be some random accident. There's going to be trucks and buses and all these bad things that happen to these kids where they're going to just literally disappear. And it's like, but we're not going to hear anything about it.
They've been disappearing. They've been disappearing. Just like I told you, hey cousin, how you doing, Kaja? There are 64,000 African American people of color, women, only the women have I done research on. There are 64,000 Black, I'm putting those in quotations because it doesn't matter if you're biracial, it doesn't matter if you look like me, it doesn't matter if you're Hispanic. They classify us all as Negroes. There are 64,000 female Negroes missing in America right now, and nobody speaks on it. Nobody speaks on it. There are Black people getting hanged in Mississippi every day right now, and nobody is talking about it. My cousin got shot off the roof here in Columbia. Nobody wants to talk about that. He was sick. He has problems. Now, when it's a white person, no, I'm not, Annie. You got me wrong. I'm not mad. I'm going to get on that subject too. You know what I'm saying? Because we can't, as a people, we can't be mad at white people for killing us if we're out here killing each other. But I'm not one of those people that are killing my own people. I'm not here to kill anybody. So I'm going to speak on it. We are being killed. Not only are we killing each other, but we are being taken out as a people. Like I was saying, Annie, there are 64,000 female women, Black female women missing. I'm upset because if little Susie and Miss Rebecca from down the street were missing, it'd be a worldwide broadcast. Literally, it'd be national news that
The
these people
National
were missing.
Guard's out
Amber
looking
Alerts,
for
get
us.
your whole team going, like, you know. But it's 64,000. That's a big number.
And that's
That's a
just
big
those who
number
like
for
who
us to
had
be
like, because if
missing.
you're part of a community, like speaking back to the Mexican and you can't even really say Mexican, shoot, there's like 40 countries down there. It's really just the Latin descended people. those are, if you live in a community where your entire neighborhood is here illegally and someone goes missing, you're not going to call the police. You're going to sit back and send out cousins and homies and try to find them and hope that you can find them. So 64,000, because there's almost 200,000 children alone, white, black, Chinese, that are just missing, gone, done deal, not to be found. So like, that alone is frightening. And they're like, oh, well, you know, it happens. But it shouldn't, not in this society. Because if you look at like Scandinavian countries, they don't have similar problems because there's certain things that we're just allowed to have. And as far as like black on black crime, honestly, that shit makes me cringe. Because just like with Central America and South America, they do that in the hood too. Because I'm going to be real with you. It ain't 85. So ain't nobody riding through with like mad keys of cocaine in the trunk and like all these guns and shit. Nobody has those connects for real no more. So what is like, okay, so the random guy from the government slides in and then floods the hood with all the guns and drugs you can find, takes out all the resources, and then leaves the people to it. And then it's like, oh, black on black crime. And so what we have to do is like, we have to recondition ourselves to like, my kids don't wear Jordans. You don't need them. What you need them for? What you sail around? What? Like, we don't need none of that shit. Like, all the name brands that are dropped, and these are red bottoms. These are bloody shoes. When she said that shit, I looked over at my sister like, you hear what she said? Like, they're just saying it now. And we're just so caught up on, oh, it's a metaphor. It's really not. It was a metaphor when hip hop was created. But now they're literally saying, you're going to die for these. Are you ready? Because if you're not, then whatever. But if you go to the Shade Room or to World Star, anything that's put up by them has 400, 500,000 likes on it, Instagram, Facebook. Because we're taught that the material is the move.
That's a sacrifice.
Exactly.
And Amy, that this is what I'm doing about it here. I'm going live. I'm about to put this on my YouTube. I'm making awareness of all of these issues. You have to start exactly. That's exactly what I was about to say. It starts at home. And I've been in my home. I've been in LA. I've been to Oregon. I have been to Louisiana. And everywhere I go, I protest and I march and I do what I'm supposed to do as a person. And as a woman of my community who does not want to see the destruction of this world, like we've killed Mother Earth so much. Why do we have to keep killing each other? There is so much blood on these lands. That's why the grass still thrives when it's not supposed to, because there's still bodies under there feeding it. They just found a whole bunch of bodies underneath the woman's house. She wanted to make a pool and they found a fucking, what? I think it was like 150 slaves or something like that. They were guessing that they were only slaves.
It's the same slaves we got today. Because here's another thing. This sounds crazy, but like voting and actually seeing like, okay, everyone's Russia stole the election. No. If you look up the word gerrymandering, GERRYMARDIDERING, that means that if you have a county that looks like this, but this little sliver all vote one way, they cut the county to be that sliver. So that way all these other people do not get, their vote doesn't count. Same thing with interstate cross-check, where if your name, if you registered to vote in, like I did, I actually got kicked off the voter rolls myself. I was registered to vote because I went to high school there. I came and got registered to vote in Missouri. Same first name, different last name, because I wasn't married in one state, married in another. I went to vote and got a provisional ballot, which is not a real ballot. It's just a ballot that says that I showed up and I get to pick something. So all of these things that we have going on all come back down to, we have to get 100 people to tell another 100 people, like, hey, these are the 5 reasons why nobody's listening to us. All the things that should be illegal that aren't. Like, people be like, oh, well, I can't do anything about it. Stop shopping at Walmart. Stop saying, I'm going to go to McDonald's. I'm going to go to the mall and buy a bunch of shit. No. Find some, consignment shop and buy your things buy Plato's Closet. Google, like, don't even use Google. Use Ecosia, because Ecosia plants trees for every 45. Matter of fact, I'm going to put that here right here, because Ecosia is the same search engine. It's powered by Bing, but instead of them mining all your data, finding out what you do, and taking all the profit for themselves, they take the profit and plant trees in the Middle East and in hey Olga and in Africa and in indigenous populations in the Amazon, because guess what? Every cheeseburger we eat is cutting down trees in the Amazon. Potato chips, like all these things, like, oh, it's overwhelming. But if we all do it, then we'll be cool. And yes, you're right. There are a lot of black stores. There are a lot of places that we're like, oh, it's too much work to have to buy some toilet paper online from a company in Africa. So I'm gonna just go down to the local Dollar Tree and do it. But then can't figure out why it's crappy toilet paper and black people are going missing. Because it's all those, you know what I'm saying? It's all connected. It just seems like too much, but it really,
It's all
they've been doing it for 100 years.
But back to the voting thing that you were talking about. 2 years ago, I went to New Orleans because I was doing this get out and vote thing, because they took all of the voting polls in New Orleans and moved them far away, so where only the white side of town could go and vote. So we have to go knock on these people. We didn't have to, but I chose to knock on these people's doors and take them to go and vote. I'm knocking on doors until like 8 or 9 o'clock at night to make sure that people are going to the voting polls so that they get their chance to vote.
Exactly. And we have to, and there's a difference. There's a movement happening that's a positive one, and that is the social democratic movement that's happening, where lefties that were like all Obama Democrats, Obama's the change, that were asleep and not knowing. And then we have Trump now, and everyone's all invigorated to do something, but what they're wanting to do is the same head, like it's the same animal with two separate heads. Because how do I put this? The worst choice as a country we could have had was Clinton versus Trump. That was the worst. And we all like picked one, and now we're all flipping out because like, oh, Obama was so nice. Yeah, Obama was nice, but what did he do for us? I mean, as far as his mannerisms, no, he didn't get on Twitter and like cuss people out and say mean things about people. But I can promise you, Obama's not, you know what I'm saying, out here throwing no positive shout outs. He's just not here anymore. He made his money and he left. Bye-bye.
He didn't come to any black communities. That's one of the promises that he made. He didn't go to any of those black communities and put any community centers there. He didn't do anything for the black people. People need to stop saying that Obama is the first African American president, because he's not. Obama's not African. Like he's the literal sense of a mixed person. His father is from Africa and his mama is white. He was literally an African American person who was raised in Hawaii, who have different values and morals than America will ever have, on a good note. But he still didn't come out to any of these black communities. What, he made Obamacare and gave you some Obama phones?
No, but even then, Obama didn't come up with that. That is the Heritage program from 1947 that came out by Republicans that said, hey, okay, we don't want to have Medicare for all. And we don't want to do socialism, because at the time it was still the Red Scare, McCarthyism, and you can't be a Russian or a communist or else you're going to go to jail and all that. They brought that forward, mixed with Mitt Romney, also a Republican. He implemented that in Massachusetts, and they're like, oh, this is a great idea, let's do that. When really we could have just had Medicare for all. And that's the thing about doing your homework. Obama's not really done a lot of positive things. Obama did what they call incrementalism.
I have done my homework. Amy, I have done my homework. Let me tell you this. Obama said he was going to bring all these soldiers home, that we were going to stop the war on Iraq. Where are we
Bombing
right
8 countries, and we're involved in a genocide in Yemen right now. 1 million people have died of cholera. Cholera is a preventable disease, but we have trucks on the border of Yemen with stuff in it that even though we're America and we can apparently do whatever we want, we can't just cross the border and give these people water and rice and medicine to keep them alive, because we got money going to Saudi Arabia, and you know how it is. Money makes the world go round. But it doesn't. We're in the fiat system.
Right.
So all of the money in our pocket isn't backed by anything but our faith. So we could really use Cheerios.
We are the backup. That's what people don't understand. Every time a baby is born, every time a child is born, we are the money's backup. We are the slaves. I don't care whether you're white, black, Asian, Latin, Latino. If you were born in America and you have a social security number, you are a part of the debt system. As soon as you're born, your taxes and everything starts as soon as you're born, from the time you get that social security number.
And $47,000 to the government already. For what? 18 months old. What exactly?
And when Obama became president, the bank systems were down. Like, Annie, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that Obama is not a good man. But at the same time, I'm not like, he's a good family man and all of that stuff. He just wasn't a good president. And I'm happy that Colin is not sick anymore, but Obamacare did more harm than it did any good, because if you didn't have insurance and you were still paying taxes because you felt like you couldn't afford the Obamacare anyway, you were getting that taken out of your taxes. That's why I worked under the grid so much. I'm not about to go get that insurance. It's not going to help me. It's not going to give me the doctors that I want. I don't like Western medicine. I don't like putting all those pills in my systems. I'm not a pill popper. I don't take Tylenol. I don't do none of that. I don't know. Don't put what's in that needle. Absolutely not.
Pineapple.
I don't want it. No. The clip says no. So pineapples. I don't want it. Like, it's not something that I've lived almost 12 years without insurance. I'm about to be 30. You have to start getting insurance on your own when you're 18. So I'm perfectly fine without Obamacare. And then as soon as he got out of office, what did Trump do? He took that shit away. He eradicated all of it. Like Shay just said, it wasn't even Obama's idea. That was just something that he needed to push out. No, it has nothing. Obama was like the coolest, swaggerest president we ever had. He listened to all of our music. He did all of our dances. I mean, Michelle did a lot of great things while he was in presidency.
Not really,
I'll give her that.
But even then, not really. She just started the initiative with the eating well. But considering she really did what most first ladies do, and mind you, like, I'm the worst because I rail against all this shit. Like, all first ladies just are the wife of a man who has a part of the power, and they pick one thing and they run with that, and it's normally something that has nothing to do with what we need, because she didn't say, hey, it's required that all of the fast food places have that big long ass list they have in California of all the reasons why this place will give you cancer. You're not allowed. Hey, Nestle, you're not allowed to go buy the. This is legitimately happening. Nestle goes into Flint, and buys the rights to their water, pumps it out of their city, and then puts it in bottles and sells it back to them because they have a water crisis. That shouldn't be a thing. And so instead of her railing,
that's just awful.
It is. It's super awful. They're buying it for like $2 a gallon, and then they're selling it back for $2 a bottle to people who are literally dying and children are dying. And I'm going to be real. Yes, this is exactly why everyone liked Obama, because he wasn't rude. Because the man left with $85 million in his personal bank account. How? You only make $477,000 a year. And it wasn't because the Republicans wouldn't let him do it. It was because he needed to make sure that he stayed inside the parameters to be president a second time. Because I promise you, what Trump is doing, the only reason, because I don't support Trump as a man at all, his ideology at all, nothing he has going on. He's a liar, he's a scumbag. However,
Yeah, no.
his presidency is a catalyst because he's showing that as president, you can literally do whatever you want and nobody's going to stop you.
Do whatever you want.
Expanding the war.
Whatever you want. Why didn't Obama take that same opportunity and do whatever the fuck he wanted? Literally could have made so many black colleges, literally could have made so many more things for black kids to do. Now we've got cops out here just shooting us because he was wearing a hoodie and he had Skittles in Arizona and he was in the wrong neighborhood. That's just like any that one time when me and Dre Day was coming from LA and the train stopped in Fulton and we had to walk from Fulton back to Yorba Belinda. These cops came over, pulled us over. We were like literally maybe 20 minutes away from getting home. The cops pulled us over and was like, you don't belong here. You're on the wrong side of town. Do we need to get you guys back to LA? You need to go home. And I'm just like, my aunt lives here in Orange County. She lives right up the street. He lived right up the street. I'm almost home. I can like take out my phone and call my aunt right now. She's asleep, but I'll wake her ass up.